Hello everyone and welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to be looking at a vitals report and just a kind of idea of how I look through them. So we're going to go ahead and click on vitals. I already have one that has been done semi-recently and we're just going to kind of scroll through it and I'll show you kind of how I pattern things. Um, Once this is loaded, I'll walk through. But make sure to check out the video later that shows kind of how I pull everything together. So this vitals report, I take notes. I love to take notes whenever I'm actually going through these and wanting to digest them and work through them and make sure that I'm gathering the information that I want to do, especially with clients. For my own personal use, I don't always do this because I don't always have time. But if you have the extra time, I really recommend just kind of going through it, writing down the patterns that you see, and then tracking those patterns over time to see how best to support your body. So we'll start here with the food sensitivity. Again, there is a key up here so you can see the optimal and balanced, what is an increasing inflammation risk, and what is a diminishing function risk. This previous scan here is, this whole scan is when you just ran your scan. It is not from the last time you ran a scan yesterday and today's scan. This previous scan is that first portion. So when you're running a report, you'll see a body and it goes through the body and then and this is if you're in the easy scan, then it'll run through again with a brain. If you're running the vitals by itself, you click scan and then you click optimize. So this is that scan and this is after optimization is the current scan. Some people get a little confused by the double columns here. This just is so that you can kind of quickly run down and see what's out of range and what is in range. So I like to look at, so like this is dairy, had quite a few things out of range before I ran the optimization. Most things shifted in. I did have cheddar cheese the night before I ran this, so it was fascinating to see that come up. For me, I would look at this and be like, okay, maybe I should slow down on the dairy or just be more aware that I know that dairy isn't my friend all the time. I go through the fruits to kind of look, does anything pop out? Is anything staying out of balance, like this cherry, this pineapple? If you look at the easy scan, you'll see these things there. The brewer's yeast, again, I kind of look at the whole category as a whole, and then we'll sometimes get a little more specific and be like, oh, well, I just had a peanut butter jelly sandwich this weekend, so that might be impacting me. We've been eating a lot of beef. But you also want to look at your report as a whole because sometimes you might be needing more of something actually instead of reducing it. So beef could maybe, I don't know that it would necessarily help with inflammation, but if I had some things going on with my omegas, or it could be causing the inflammation. Like there's so many different aspects to look at when it comes to the food sensitivities. I highly recommend checking out Solex. If you type in the search bar of YouTube, Solex food sensitivities, Becky Kimbley did an amazing job with that and how she reads the report. And again, you'll look through other people and other QLAs and everyone kind of reads them differently. Find what works best for you. I don't hyperfixate on stuff. I just kind of look at, I'm using this as a tool for my own personal education. It's not diagnostic, so I don't hyperfixate. I try to take the information as education and move from there. If it's something that I see as a repeated pattern all the time, then I'm going to try to be more aware of that. Like right here, there's a lot of nuts out of balance, most of them shifted, but I might look and see if there's mold in the other parts of the report. With the coffee there, like my cortisol is high, I already know that. So probably avoiding coffee. So looking through and kind of seeing what makes sense. There's other trainings that show like what the different categories of foods are, like eggplants and peppers and potatoes and things like that. If those are coming up, that might be a sensitivity to nightshades. So there's a lot of like really in-depth stuff here, and I highly recommend checking out other resources for that. Here is like the little section on blood. So I just kind of skim. I don't know a lot about all of these aspects. I just want to see, am I staying more in balance? Are there patterns coming up that I need to watch for? I'm using this for my own education. When I'm working with clients, I I present it to them in that way as well. This is education. These are some suggestions I have for these things being out of balance. And ultimately, you need to do your own research on these specific things, and figure out like what foods you should be eating and different things like that. So there's the chakras, and then I love to kind of see what the correlations are there. Same with the meridians. The kidneys were out here. So I like to look and see, okay, what were the kidneys related to? And am I having issues, which I know I'm having issues with connective tissue health. I know I'm having issues with my adrenals, my blood circulation, brain function, and my joints have been really bad lately. So it made a ton of sense that that meridian was low. There are frequencies, playlists that people have created for the meridians. That is in the course. It's also in the Solex Facebook group. If you are a part of that, you can find it in the files. And you can create your own meridian. You can, look at what's going on here and create a meridian playlist that would be more personalized to you. I like to look at the gastrointestinal function. I know that mine is a little spotty, especially after what I had eaten before I had this, the cortisol dysfunction there. And just kind of, again, scrolling through. If there's a lot of stuff with the pancreas or insulin, I encourage people to support their pancreas with a better diet, with regulating their blood sugar. And of course, we utilize the frequencies to support that as well. We can look at the nutrition analysis and the digestive enzymes, macro minerals, the micro minerals, whether or not you're methylating. Just a quick note here, the MTHFR does not mean that you have it or don't have it. It depends on what your body is doing right now. I have had clients who know they have MTHFR, but they were in balance. I have people that know they do not have MTHFR, but it was out. And it's all about what's going on in your body now. Is your body methylating properly? And then you pair that with what's going on in your vitamins, what's going on in your liver, all of that kind of stuff. To support your body. Basic physical functionality. There's some basic mental, some hypoxia. I know my circulation needs support. I know my vagus nerve needs some support. I know I need more hydration, all of that kind of stuff. So again, this is all very educational. I have a lot going on with my bones and muscles, and there's some brain nerve stuff going on. I really like to remind people not to stress about the cardiovascular. Some people get a lot over here, and then most typically is resolved, but sometimes it's not. People really freak out whenever the stroke index is there, and I'm like, I promise this is just frequency. This is in your moment now. And I truly believe that the cardiovascular has a lot to do with your emotional state, as well as like whether you're under a lot of stress and all of that kind of stuff. And really just supporting your nervous system and your circulation is so key there. Check out the collagen, the endocrine glands, the eye health, the hormones, the immune system, the kidney function, the liver and gallbladder, the lung function, the reproduction function. This is different for male and female, the skin index, the thyroid function. And like I said, I take note of things that stayed out of balance or categories that had a lot out of balance and likely need support. I utilize that with some common sense of knowing what's going on in my body. And then I can create Cephi playlists. I can kind of have more of a game plan for my day on what I want to eat or what different ways I can support my body with a variety of things, making sure that I get hydration and all of that. Bacterial disease, again, I'm kind of looking more at the category. I will sometimes look at the specifics just to see if there are patterns coming up, like here, the candida, supporting my body with that, and maybe reducing some sugar intake would be helpful there. Human toxins, kind of seeing, I know I've been on my phone a lot. I know I haven't been eating like organic fruits and vegetables, so the herbicides and pesticides make sense. But then I can utilize that and understand like, hey, maybe I should make sure I'm washing my fruit better, and that kind of stuff. The heavy metals, molds, parasites, and viruses. And I try to kind of take note sometimes of what is heaviest, because there are Cephis for all of them, but you don't maybe want to run Cephis for every single detox, because you can have a little bit of a reaction as your body is trying to adjust those frequencies. So if I have if I've done a vitals, if I've done a body system scan and an inner voice and I see a lot of, say, viral load, I might do like a virus detox. Or if it's more heavier on the parasites, maybe a parasite or a verma plus detox, things like that. So that is the quick little overview of the vitals report. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. And I hope this was super helpful for you. Have a great day.